So here's an overview of the problems that I promised. In the first problem, you're given 19,000, oops, you're given 19,000 milligrams per liter. And you want to change that to grams per cubic decimeter. So it's easy to change milligrams to grams. You're going to put milligrams here. You're going to put grams here, so that way milligrams cancel. You know that grams are bigger than milligrams, so 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. And then voila, you are finished with the first part. In the second part, you need to change liters to cubic meters. And that might confuse you a little bit, unless you remember as we left class on Thursday, I showed you the 1 cubic decimeter box. So we know that 1 liter is the same thing as 1 cubic decimeter. Remember, I poured the water from the box into the flask and they were the same. So 1 liter is 1 cubic decimeter. So now the problem's getting simpler if you know this relationship. So I'm going to quickly draw a cubic meter here. It's going to be a high quality artistic rendering. Look at that beautiful cube right there. All right, so that is 1 meter on a side. But isn't that also 10 decimeters? Because there are 10 decimeters in a meter. So if it's a cubic meter, so we know we're going to need cubic decimeters here and cubic meters on the bottom. So if we're talking about 1 cubic meter, then there are really going to be 1,000 cubic decimeters, because there are 10 decimeters in a meter, but it's 10 times 10 times 10, length times width times height. So it turns out in this problem, it's kind of weird, the thousands cancel. I end up with the same thing I started with. It's 19,000, and then look at what canceled. Liters canceled. Cubic decimeters cancel. So it's 19,000 grams per cubic meter. And that's the first problem. Oh, checking sig figs. How many sig figs in this number? 2. How many sig figs in this number? 2. So we're good. All right, the next one, we have 5.52 grams per cubic centimeter. We know that we want to move grams to kilograms, so we'll put grams here and put kilograms here, and that's pretty easy. What's bigger, a kilogram or a gram? So we're talking kilograms, so 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. Then cubic centimeters, cubic meters. Or once again, looking at my high quality rendering up here, we know that there were 100 centimeters on the side of this cube. So if it's a cubic meter, one of those would equal 1,000,000 of these. So then, when we do the math, that times 1 times 1,000,000, then divide by 1,000, will give us that number. Now what about sig figs? Oh look, it's right already, because that's 3 sig figs. These are definitions, so they're infinite sig figs, and this number has 3 sig figs in it. But I put the wrong unit down there. Did anybody notice that? So this shouldn't be here. Let's just erase that. We'll do it right. So we'll scratch that out. And this would then be, on top we would have kilograms, and on the bottom we would have cubic meters. There you go. That's the third one. Second one. Now the third one. So we have 380,000 metric tons per month. Now later in the problems, I told you that a ton is 1,000 kilograms, but I should have said that here. But I didn't, so it's 1,000 kilograms. So we're going to take our 380, as soon as we find our mouse again.